Good afternoon and welcome. We've got a beautiful, beautiful day here in Colorado. So welcome to everybody for joining us. Pretty excited. We have a special guest today. So we are super excited. We just finished our in-person event with Annie from ByAnnie. And she is going to come and do a little trunk show and give you some tips and tricks. And so super excited that we're able to share that with all of our away friends, as well as all of our local customers that joined us this morning. I never checked the calendar because we kind of got busy. Let's see, we do have our Viking Club on Wednesday with Amanda and Matt. So if you're signed up for that, the Zoom invitation for that should be going out tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that will go out Tuesday and class is Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock. And then I don't think we have too much else going on for the rest of the week as far as any special. Oh no, I'm
Saturday.
Saturday, we have our Kimberbell event that is being done through Zoom. So that is the day at the spa event, and that is going to be with Amanda.
Yay!
I know,
I'm excited.
Super excited about that. So we got lots of people signed up for that class. Anyway, I have a giveaway. Look at this cute pillow. Cindy did this one, I think one day last week. And this was from the Kimberbell Design Pack Citrus and Sunshine, I believe, which is an older one. But it's nice to kind of revisit some of those older ones. And this is going to go to Diana Bowman.
Yay,
so,
Diana.
Miss Diana, we will set this aside for you. And we look forward to seeing you in the store here for that. And I think with that, I think we're going to introduce you to Annie. So welcome, Annie, to Colorado.
Thank you so much.
I didn't realize, I was listening to the story this morning, and I've seen you present several times, but I actually never realized that you actually lived in Colorado.
Yes, for about 10 years probably.
Wow. Yeah. No, I didn't know that about you.
Junior high school, college. Got married here, met my husband here.
That's crazy.
And a lot of my family still lives here, and all of my husband's family still lives here.
So have you been able to visit them whilst you've been here?
Not on this trip.
Not on this trip. Too busy?
Yeah.
Yeah. We kept you busy, right?
We did.
Because you were teaching another event here also,
Yes.
right? We kind of piggybacked onto an event.
We did. I've been saying no to events for a long time, but I had agreed to do the So Fancy retreat. And then you wrote, and I said, well, I'm there. It's only an extra day or two. So I had a day off yesterday, which was delightful.
Did you get to go to any quilt shops here in
I
town?
know. I
just rested?
Read and answered a few emails and then just vegged out. So
well, good.
I don't do that very often. It was nice.
Nice to have a day of relaxation.
Yep.
Okay, well, we are going to let you take the stage here.
All right.
And show some of your wonderful, she's got a wonderful trunk show here with us. So you're all going to get to see firsthand her beautiful samples.
Sounds good. Well, I have just a few on this table to show, but we'll start with these, and if anybody has special requests, we can add some more in. So,
okay, perfect.
One of my very favorite patterns is running with scissors, which I designed at the request of Tula Pink, and it's designed to carry scissors. I put my stiletto, my rulers. Mine that I carry when I teach classes is about this wide by the time it's all packed because it holds a ton of stuff in a very compact space. So I use the outside pocket on the front to hold my triangle rulers. I use the back pocket to hold my circle rulers and my stiletto. And then on the inside, we've got all kinds of little pockets for all kinds of things. So on the larger size here, I put all my big scissors, my rotary cutter, a stiletto, things like that. And the pockets have a vinyl pocket as well as a quilted fabric pocket. So if you put sharp things in like scissors with points, you've got a double layer there kind of protecting the points.
Okay, can I interrupt you for just a moment because I should have mentioned this and I apologize. So thank you, Barbara, for asking. Yes, we do have all of ByAnnie's products on our website in the usual place. So if you go to aboveandbeyondsewing.com, go to the product tab, and then the drop down, the first one will be Facebook Live products. And we have put all of those up, and everything will be at a 20% discount.
Fabulous.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's great. So good time to stock up. So your bigger scissors can go in there, and then we didn't want to waste any space. So even though your scissors may extend, through the top here, we've got a little zippered pocket here, which is where I put my turning tools or longer tools. I didn't have any bag that had a space long enough for my turning tools until we designed this. So it's the perfect spot for those. And then if you turn it around to this size, you have shorter pockets, again, doubled over. So my seam ripper, my clover bodkin, my chalk markers, my bias tape maker, all those things go in those pockets. And then we did a couple of mesh pockets.
I love the mesh.
The mesh expands. It's easy to see through, but it expands a little bit more. So I put my rotary cutters, glue sticks, extra blades, all those kinds of things in those two pockets. And since we're making our own zippers using Zippers by the Yard, it's easy to add an extra slide on there, and I can open this pocket without first having to open that pocket, so everything stays safe and secure.
That is so cool.
People often wonder what the purpose of this is, and I didn't want to waste any space on this bag, so we took our wonderful fold-over elastic, and instead of using it to bind an edge, we just opened it out and sewed strips on here, and you can, put things like a friction pin or a sewing machine foot or a spool of thread. All those little things can go there. And then part of the reason, too, when you zip this up, I don't like to have this tail hanging out. If you just kind of hold your fingers here and tight, you can zip it up really nice and tight. But if that isn't held under there, it's not as easy to do. So rather than have this tail sticking out on the edge of the bag, we just use the fold-over elastic as a little way to hold it in and keep it tight. So the pattern includes instructions for exactly where to trim the zipper so that it sits under there and doesn't come loose. Yes. This pattern, again, was requested by Tula Pink as a way to hold all her hardware. It also includes a little pad that goes in between, because if you've got all your scissors here and here, when you close it up, you don't want them banging against each other. So that goes inside and just helps protect them. You can also use that as a pressing mat, or I use it as a pin cushion. I just put my pins in there or my Wonder Clips. And then we have a companion pattern that goes with that called Take a Stand.
That's been a very popular one.
This is such an easy bag to make, and it makes a great purse. There's so many ways you can use it. Toiletries, makeup. We designed it here as a stand so that once you get all your tools in, you're running with scissors, you can drape it over the Take a Stand and it's not falling over. So I know that Tula takes hers and sets it on one of those revolving round
the rotating
mats. And then she can just turn it.
I like that idea.
I thought it was really brilliant.
Yeah. Did you say that earlier today?
I forgot.
Oh, let's see. I didn't hear that earlier.
Nope. I forgot to mention that earlier. So yeah, that's running with scissors and the small Take a Stand. And then the Take a Stand pattern. Originally, I thought I'd put both of these in one pattern, but it was way too many pages to fit and too much. So we just made a separate pattern for this and then decided we'd do a larger size too. So this size will fit a small sewing machine, or if you want to put your filled small bag and your filled running with scissors, those fit inside and zip it up and off you go.
So Patty, can you just confirm that you're wanting the Take a Stand, or are you wanting the running with scissors pattern? So if you are not going to the website and you would like to comment and order on here whilst we're live, please feel free to do that also.
I'm going to take this and set this inside with that, and that bag is ready to go. This includes a carrying strap. It's probably in this front pocket. No, maybe not. Maybe in the back pocket. Yes. So if you want to carry this as a travel bag or something, you can just hook your strap onto each side and off you go. One thing that I do recommend if you are going to carry a sewing machine in here, it's going to be a little bit heavier. I would add additional tabs on this side and this side and make an extra strap so that you could put one on each side and then it will carry much more evenly.
Perfect.
Be easier to carry.
And the big bag is still called the Taker Stand.
Yes.
So, and her patterns are $10. And it just comes with both sizes in it, correct, Annie?
Yes.
Okay.
Both sizes.
Okay. And then somebody is asking if you have the Payday clutch with you.
I actually have my personal one that I brought for
Ooh,
my trip.
we get to see your personal one.
I usually travel with an on-the-go bag, but my on-the-go, which actually is hidden in my backpack, is so worn out that I said I can't carry that with people seeing it. So I brought this for show.
Okay.
But I've used it all week. So this is the small Payday. I didn't bring the large, but the large is a little bit longer and a little bit taller.
Okay.
But either one is designed that you can take the straps off or the carrying strap off totally and just use it as a wallet in a purse, or you can attach a strap to carry over your shoulder, crossbody. You can make it shorter and wear it as a fanny pack. Lots of ways to wear it. There is a slip pocket on the back, and then when you open it, it closes with little magnetic snaps right there, so you can see how well that closes. We've got a slip pocket or a zippered pocket here. I've been putting my receipts in there. A larger pocket here where you could put bills or coins or whatever, and a little secret pocket there where I put my keys, and then at the back, room for your credit cards, cash. I usually put my phone in that one. So the larger one, if you got a great big phone with a big case, that pocket is a little bit bigger for the larger phones. But my tech editor she said, I think the biggest iPhone, and it fits in this one. So it's a little bit tight, but she likes the smaller size, so that's the one she uses. So yes, that is the small version of Payday.
Perfect.
And I made this one using a cotton batik, which I really like, a canvas weight. So it really has worn well. The really nice thing about Payday is there's no binding and there's no quilting. So it's a pretty fun bag to make. One thing that I will mention is the add-on video for this, like all of our add-on videos, is not a step-by-step video. It includes just selected sections. If you want a general overview of how it goes together, we filmed a live with Annie where we introduced it, and I walked through the step-outs for a class for that. So you might also want to watch that in addition to the add-on video for a few extra tips.
Perfect. Linda, we will go ahead. We have a handout. They're actually not on our website individually, but I will go ahead and upload it's like a 5-page handout that's got all of the hardware listed on it. So hopefully that will be of assistance to you. And yes, we can do special orders on all of that for you too.
Great idea. This is another bag that I brought with me. So here's my version that I travel with, which is packed really full. I've got my purse in there, my pillow, my on-the-go bag, my Coke, my water, everything that I need when I travel. And what I love about this bag is it's got plenty of room inside, big pockets on the outside.
This is one of your newer ones, right?
This is called Courtside.
Was this released at Market last year? Because I think I saw it for the first time at
last
Market.
Fall. Yes. Yeah. So we designed this bag at the request of people who wanted a bag to carry for pickleball. Lots of pickleball players now.
Huge.
But I don't play pickleball, and I wanted a bag that I could carry. So it's a really nice all-purpose bag. But if you're a pickleball player or a tennis player, it's perfect. In fact, if you look at the cover here, you'll see, well, they're not in there, but they go in the front pocket. Even tennis rackets will fit in the front pocket. And you can get so many different looks for this bag just by varying fabrics. So this is one I made with some fabric from Sue Penn. We put a zipper in the front pocket so that if you have tennis rackets in particular, the racket part is too big to fit in the top of the pocket. So you have to zip it open to get the rackets in. But then it's much narrower at the top than at the bottom, so you don't have to worry about them falling out. When we were working on prototypes of this, my daughter-in-law, who designed the bag, put the tennis rackets in and ran up and down the stairs a bunch of times to make sure that the handles weren't hitting her in the head. So it's got a great shape and a great design. We offset the zipper just to add some interest and make it a little more interesting. If you don't think you'd want a zippered pocket there, you can certainly cut this and make it as one piece. You can put a zipper at the top and sew it in so it's a full zippered pocket. Lots of ways to do that. On the back, we also did a tall zipper, and you might notice we quilted the fabric for the body of the bag, but we did not quilt the pockets front and back because we wanted to give it a little bit more modern appearance. So we skipped the quilting on those. We also added a trolley sleeve on the back, so that I really love when I'm traveling through the airport. I can hook it over my rolling luggage. And in addition to the handles for carrying it, we added some backpack straps. So I like that they can stuff down inside that pocket if I don't need them. Or I can pull them out and carry it as a backpack. That's really helpful when you're traveling. We put a nice deep pocket on this side that is big enough to carry even your big bottles of water, and or a tube of balls or whatever. And then we only did that on one side because we wanted to be able to open it fully on this side so you have easy access to the interior. So on the inside, there is a full height fabric pocket on one side and a mesh pocket on top of that that's divided into sections. And then on this side, rather than doing a pocket, we did bellowed dividers. So again, if you've got something big like a bottle of water, you put that in there. It goes all the way down to the bottom, doesn't fall over, and it's just a really nice way to keep everything
at the
organized. It is.
Okay.
So it's like what we do in our catch-all caddies. So we leave them open all the way to the bottom so that whatever you put in there goes all the way. If this was sewed, your bottle would sit like that. It wouldn't go down far enough to really be useful.
And this is called the court side pattern. And we did have a question from Birdie, and she says, having issues keeping all the layers together and putting the binding on. Any tips?
The best tip I can suggest is as you attach the layers, do them one at a time, the way the pattern says. Each line of stitching helps to hold those together. Use wonder clips as close together as you need them to keep things from sliding. Use a ByAnnie stiletto to help hold the layers together and make sure they're not moving, and just go slow. Don't try to go too fast for that. I will admit that when I was working on prototypes, I got done with one of these and one of my fabric layers hadn't been caught totally. So my best tip is before you put the binding on, don't just look at it, turn it completely right side out and really examine it closely to make sure you've caught all those layers.
Okay.
And then just go slow.
And then going back to the payday pattern, is both sizes in the same pattern?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, both sizes are.
And this is a great question. What type of sewing machine do you sew on?
I sew on a Bernina. I have been a Bernina gal since the very first machine I bought, which was a 1080 or a 930. I don't know. It was a long time ago, 50 years ago. And I now sew on a 530.
Okay.
So it's not the most top of the line, but it's 5mm, but I love that machine. I have bonded with it, and I ended up buying like 6 of them so that when we do sewing classes for staff, everybody's sewing on the sewing machine. Use the same feet. I love the Bernina number 37 foot, which is their quarter inch foot.
Mm-hmm.
I buy sewing machines for that foot. So yeah, I am a Bernina girl to the bone.
Okay.
So, all right, this is another fun pattern that I thought you might like to see, and it looks different depending on how you've closed it.
Do you know what fabric line this was? I just really
is
am drawn
Natalie
to that.
Barnes for Wyndham, and I believe this one was called Maker's Home. She has Maker's Home, Homeward, everything has the word home in it.
Okay.
But if you go on our website and click on Community, there is a link over on the left side that says ByAnnie Models, And if you type in "I'll drink to that," it will show you every "I'll drink to that" we've ever made, and you can find it, and it'll tell you exactly the name of the line.
Thank you.
It's a few years old, but her lines are all fairly similar, so you might be able to find one similar. I love it too, and it came in several colorways. So this is a pattern called "I'll Drink to That" that we wrote at the request of people who enjoy drinking wine. So it's made to hold up to 4 bottles of wine, or a couple of bottles of wine and a couple of wine glasses, or whatever else you want to put in it. People who knit like using it because it's tall enough to hold yarn and longer knitting needles. So you could skip the divider on the inside and just make it for that. We had a lady who submitted a picture to our photo contest a couple of months ago who has to carry oxygen, and she made it to carry her oxygen tank. So I think she made it a tiny bit taller, but really no other changes than the height. So this has a pocket on the front, another pocket on the flap. It closes with magnets, hidden magnets in here. So if it's empty, you can carry it that way. It's also got a carrying strap that's handy, which if it's full, you'll want to use. And it looks different when it's zipped up at the top. But we made these awesome little padded dividers to go inside.
I saw these earlier.
That
This was a great idea.
One section at a time, so that you can put your bottles of wine in there and they're not clinking against each other, or your glasses in there, or your bottle of water, and use this to carry your lunch. The nice thing is, one thing about Soft and Stable is it's really good at following instructions. So if you want it to fold somewhere, you just stitch a line there, and that encourages it to fold. So you can see I can push that side in and it goes flat. I can push that side in and it goes flat. I could then put that in my bag and I'd still have half the bag for my sandwich and my chips and all those kinds of things. So it's just a handy little sleeve for keeping everything in compact, and then you fold it up and it fits in nice and flat. We also added a little sleeve at the bottom and put in a little stabilizer made out of foam board to also keep the bag from pooching out at the bottom when you get heavy wine bottles in there.
Where do you get your motivation and your inspiration from for all of these different projects?
I get emails every day of the week from people with ideas for patterns. Really? And anytime I like to have things organized. I like to have special places for each. So I see ideas and sit down and come up with ideas, but I have enough ideas that I could make patterns probably till I was 500 years old and never run out of ideas. But yeah, people will send us pictures of things that they'd like to make. And yeah, always keeping my eyes open for sure.
Cool.
So again, this pattern was called I'll Drink to That.
Okay, dear, we'll get this out to you.
All right, let's see, what else? Here's another fun little one on the food theme. This is called Grab Some Grub, and this is a fun little bag to take your lunch to work or use for other things. So it's got a vinyl pocket on the back that you can put your name in, a little border on the front that can be fabric, or here we use chalkboard fabric, so you can write a message. Little handle for carrying it. It closes either with a side release buckle, or the pattern also includes instructions for using a swivel hook and D-ring, but it's got lots of room inside for a nice hearty lunch. So those Rubbermaid cubes that are so popular.
The iron-on vinyl on it? Is that what you did?
We did. So this is slicker iron-on laminate. So the pattern includes instructions for 2 versions. One made with non-quilted fabric, which is what you want to do if you're doing the slicker, because you really don't want to sew through it any more than you have to. And then one made using quilted fabric that we don't. Soft and Stable washes beautifully, so if it gets dirty, it's really easy to just throw it in the wash, but this makes it nice because you can just wipe it clean. And you'll see there's a little mesh pocket in the back, so if you want to slide your ice pack in there, or your utensils, your napkins, it's an easy place to keep those contained.
A mesh pocket with the elastic fold over.
Yes, and the great thing about the fold over elastic on there is it stretches along with the mesh, so if you've got something a little more bulky going in there, it stretches to
as opposed to if you did it with fabric, you've got no stretch in it.
Right.
You lose the stretch.
Right. if you haven't used fold over elastic, let me give you just a little quick demo of that. So fold over elastic is just an awesome elastic that's, stretches, and it has a fold woven right down the middle, which makes it really easy to fold it in half. We have it in 14 different colors. It comes wrapped with the shiny side out, but it also has a matte side, and you can use whichever side you prefer on the exterior. So you can fold it like this, or you can fold it like that, whichever you prefer. When you're ready to bind something, just lay your piece of fold over elastic out. One thing that we do recommend, because it's elastic, as it's stretched and put into a package or on a roll, it stretches a little as it goes. And when you take it off the roll, it takes it a little while to relax and shrink back up. So we always, as we primarily cut from the rolls, but we'll just lay it down and iron it with an iron set on medium heat and a little bit of steam, and you'll watch it shrink up. But so we always tell stores, if they're selling it off the bolt, to add about 10% extra. That's about how much it shrinks. But get that pressed so it doesn't have any wrinkles. Decide which side you want on the outside and put that down. And then lay your fold over elastic or your mesh so it's right along that fold. And then just fold this over. I usually put a wonder clip at the beginning and the end, and then I just kind of maneuver it by hand as I go. We have a new 1/8-inch wide basting tape that some people like to do to put down to hold it in place. I don't really find that necessary, but it's an option if you want to. And then you just stitch right along that edge. So as you can see here, where I've stitched it, this piece I put the basting tape in, and you can kind of see how you see the little bit of texture of the mesh through there. You wouldn't notice that on the other, but I just stitched right along the edge. Some people like to do a zigzag stitch or a stretch stitch. I've never had any problem with it breaking on me. So you can see here I've got fold over elastic in there, and I put it down on the bottom, and then I just push this down and it holds it right in place. So if you've experimented with mesh and found it a little bit difficult, that's a really good tip for how to sew it in place. You can also bind your mesh with fabric, but as we said, it doesn't have the stretch that the fold over does, so it's not going to stretch to accommodate things. One trick on that is I like to sew with the mesh on top, the fabric on bottom. I stitch a nice 1/4-inch seam, and then I take my fabric up like that. I press my seam up toward the folded edge of the binding, and then I just bring this over and stitch right along the edge, so when you're done it looks like that. My goal is that you can't tell which side I sewed from. It looks the same on both sides.
Okay.
So here you can kind of see where I've pressed that up.
We are going to show you all of the colors of the elastic here in just one moment.
Do you want to do that right now?
Yeah, we absolutely
Let's
can.
walk over there.
And Linda had asked about the handout for the hardware, and that is now up on our calendar for today. Great. Okay.
So we have elastic, mesh, and zippers in 14 colors, all to match. So if you like things matchy-matchy, if you order pumpkin fold over, it's going to be the same color as the pumpkin mesh and the same color as the pumpkin zippers.
I love that. It's got to be matching.
Yeah. Though, I don't usually match them. We like mixing all kinds of different colors in there. But one thing to know about the mesh in particular is a lot of times people look at that package of mesh and say, oh, that is too dark. That's way more than I want. If you have just a single layer of it and lay it on your fabric,
I've noticed that too.
Very, very different.
It does.
So we always recommend to people that they audition it by looking at just a single layer. And we do sell mesh packs that have pieces about like that of all 14 colors in a pack,
so they can see
and they can buy those and have those to audition colors. Somewhere. Do you have those?
Okay, so let's go through the colors so everybody can see. This one is called the pumpkin, right?
Yep. Dandelion.
We're testing you now. I'm sure you know these inside and outside.
I don't think you have them all here. So lipstick.
I think we've sold out on a few.
Pewter. Apple green. Adam red. is next, and that one's gone. Turquoise, parrot blue, navy, natural white. You're missing Tahiti.
Oh, I'm missing black.
And here's blast off blue.
Do I have... Oh, I've got these mixed up here. So there's actually black and navy.
Yes.
But the black and navy probably looks the same on the camera.
They look kind of similar.
So then we
1,
have
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I know we're missing Tahiti.
That's the purple, right?
Yep. And
actually you just showed that on one of the samples over there, right?
Yep.
Oh, look.
Oh, here we go. Isn't she good? So lipstick, dandelion.
Oh, blast off.
Blast off blue we have there,
Oh, yeah.
but maybe that's why maybe I didn't count that one. Black, Adam red, apple green, white, turquoise. Do we have turquoise? Yes. Tahiti.
I'm a purple girl, so I really like the
Tahiti. Yeah.
I think
it's
everybody
popular.
else did this morning because we completely sold
out. Pumpkin, pewter, parrot blue. Parrot blue is one of my favorites. Navy and natural. So yeah, I think
Okay. Perfect.
that's it.
So we do have all of this up on our website, so you can pick and choose. But let's show them what you did with a couple of the zippers, because I was kind of impressed by that this morning. I hadn't seen that before.
Colors.
Yeah, so she mixed the zippers up, which I think is a great fun idea.
Right. So on this particular bag, this is what I use to carry my step outs. So I have everything I need when I want to demo. So on this one, we just picked colors that were predominant in the fabric, and we combined orange and apple green. On the back, same thing.
So you basically just split the zipper tape in half and then join
put
two
the slide
different.
back on. Yep.
I would
one
never
we
have thought
did
about doing that.
Parrot blue and dandelion. This one we did lipstick and chartreuse, it looks like. Sometimes if I'm having a really hard time matching a zipper color to something, I will do that because it just kind of changes the whole impact of it. We also sometimes we'll do all the colors of blue in kind of an ombre effect. So there's just lots of fun things you can do. If working with making your own zippers is new to you, let me give you a little some tips on that. So we sell zippers in 24-inch single slide, 30 and 40-inch double slide, and something called zippers by the yard, where you get 4 yards of zipper tape and 16 pulls, and you can make whatever you want. One thing I like to explain to people is that our double slide zippers have 2 slides on them. They're made so that you can open your bag that way or that way, and it closes to the middle. But it's also a great way to make 2 single slide zippers. So for instance here, let's get one of those out that isn't already cut. So here's a single slide. Here's a double slide. That one's marked on one side. Okay, so usually it looks like this. So you can open your bag that way, you can open your bag that way, and when you're done, you close it and your slides come back to the middle. So if you want to make 2 out of it, I recommend that you move your slides all the way to one end so that they're out of your way, and then measuring from the end of the stop, not the end of the tape, measure the distance that you want. So here I wanted 2 15-inch zippers, so I measured from here 15 inches, and I just marked a line right across my zipper tape. Then I moved one slide into each section, and I try to keep them kind of close together so I can hold this together. Hold that together, and then just stitch about 1/8 to 1/4 inch away from the line that you marked, which creates a new stop. So it's not going to come off of there easily. And then you can just cut on the line you marked, and you've got 2 15-inch single slide zippers ready to go. Let's say you had this zipper, and it was going in the top of this bag, and so you had this much zipper tape left over when you were done. It's easy to put zipper slides directly onto your leftover zipper tape. So let me show you how you do that. And see, here's one where I just took a yellow zipper and an orange zipper, pulled them apart, and there I've got a 2-color zipper ready to go. So let's say here we've got this piece of leftover zipper tape. I've already got a slide on there, so I'm going to pull that off to show you what I did. But basically, when you look at a zipper slide, you're going to see it has a flat end and it has a rounded end. And if you look straight on at the rounded end, you're going to see it has 2 channels. If you look straight on at the flat end, it has just 1. The rounded end separates your zipper. The flat end pulls it together. I like to close my zipper tape, and whatever's at the back is the one that takes effect last. So I'm going to go on here with my rounded end because that's going to close it. So this one has 2 channels, so I have to separate my zipper so that I have 2 pieces. You don't have to go that far, but a few inches so that you can grab each side. You're going to take your zipper slide and slide it into the channel. So the left side goes into the left channel, and then I usually just kind of pinch that between my fingers. I'm going to take the right side and put it into the right channel, and you can see I only went about halfway into each. Then I just give this a tap with this finger. Can you see how it pushes down? And then it's super easy to close.
Easy for you.
I always tell people, take a piece of leftover tape and a couple slides and sit down while you watch TV one night and
a bottle of wine.
That probably wouldn't hurt either. But it really does not take very long to master it. And the great thing is once you master that, you're not afraid if you accidentally pull your zipper slide off, or if your zipper closes this way and you want it to close that way, you're not afraid to try and fix it. Let me show you, too, some tips for working with zippers by the yard.
I'm thinking you might have done that a few times, though.
I have done it a few times, but really when I learned how to do it, 10 minutes of practice and I had it. Okay. So it really doesn't take a lot. So this is what our zippers by the yard looks like when you buy it, although it's wrapped differently as you saw over there. But what sets ours apart from most others on the market is that both ends of our tape have about 3/4 of an inch of fabric before the teeth start. That makes making zippers a piece of cake. And we may get you on here doing this to show how easy it is if you're not comfortable with it. But you get 16 color-coordinated pulls, or if you buy black or white, we have those in multi-packs where you get 16 different colors of pulls. So I like using different colors on here. So
I see that.
Let's try something that shows up. So again, we've got the rounded edge, we've got the flat edge. I'm going to back up for a minute. So the first thing that I do, because it's so easy to put it straight onto the tape, is I make sure that I preserve one end that has just the tape, and I cut from the other end.
Okay.
So I don't cut that end until I have all my zippers made from that piece of zipper tape. So my suggestion is go to this end, measuring from, again, the end of the teeth, not the end of the tape. I'm going to measure the length I want. So I need a 10-inch single slide, and then pretend this slide isn't here. And I need another 10-inch single slide, and then I'm going to do whatever that is, 24-inch double slide. So that means that when I put the slides on from the other end, I need to put them on in that configuration. So the first one I'm going to do is the single slide. So again, I'm going to start from the rounded end, which has the 2 channels. I'm going to separate my zipper tape so I have 2 pieces. I'm going to put one piece into there. I'm going to put one piece into there. Super easy. And then I hold on to that and pull down. And that's how easy it is to attach a zipper slide for a single slide. So I'm going to put that one on. I'm going to do one more just the same way, so that I have my second single slide. And then I'm ready to do my double slide for that next one. So when you're doing single slides, you go on from the rounded end. So for instance, if I was putting this pocket in and I wanted both of my zipper slides to be over on the left when it's closed, I would put them on just like that, both from the rounded ends, so that when I close that, it's ready to go. But if I want to do a double slide, I want my rounded ends to kiss in the middle, which means that the next one I put on has to go on from the flat end. And it's easy doing it onto tape. It's not possible that we figured out to put it onto cut tape. So for this, because we only have one channel here, we want to keep this together. We don't want to separate that. Okay. So we just take that and slide our slide onto it. And then if you look at this, you will see why I thought it wouldn't work. I can pull and pull and pull on that, and it doesn't go down. Okay. But my son Casey figured out that if you just grab each side of this tape and do that, it goes down super easy. So now I have that slide on with the rounded end up. I'm going to do my next one with the rounded end down. And
so I'm learning something new here because I did not realize you could turn these into a double zipper.
Yeah, you can make whatever you want. So now to get a really good double zipper, you don't want any bubbles in your tape. So I just lean one end up against the table. I pull this so it's nice and taut. And then I pull down on my slide. And now I've got a perfect double slide zipper that closes to the middle. And it doesn't have any bubbles in the tape.
So Karen, there absolutely is a top and bottom side to the zipper. So the right side is where you can see the zipper teeth, and then the wrong side, it's just flat.
Yeah, all you see is tape. And there's a top and a bottom to the zipper pull. The top is where the slide is attached, and the bottom is just flat.
Okay.
And then again, there's a rounded side, which has 2 channels, and a flat side, which has just 1. Once you know those basic things, then it's really simple. So now I've got all my slides on. I would pull those slides down to the other end, move them into the appropriate sections, stitch on each side of my marked lines, cut along the lines, and I've got my zippers ready to go for my project.
That's very
cool. So it's super easy to do. And all of our new ByAnnie patterns, that's one of the very first steps that you do is prepare your zippers. So it will tell you if you're cutting them from, if you're using zippers by the yard, do this. If you're doing, a 30-inch double slide, do this.
And what's nice about the zipper tape is that so many of your projects, you need like a big long zipper, and then you need a little zipper that is for a pocket. So it's nice to be able to have it all custom.
Right. So
and you're really not wasting any zipper tape.
No, and inch by inch, this is your most cost-effective way. So you're paying the least amount and you're making the best use of it. So if you only need a 6-inch zipper, you make a 6-inch zipper. If you need a 100-inch zipper, you make that. So yeah, it makes it really cost-effective. And this is a tip that once you're comfortable putting on slides, my model maker does not put the slides on until the zippers are installed. And then the slides go on, so she's never having to work around that big slide hanging out there. So that's another reason to practice on putting slides on.
Perfect.
What else should we talk about? Let's talk about a place for everything.
Let's talk about that 2-day the 2-day hands-on workshop that we that Annie has talked us into.
Yes, so
that we're going to be presenting out of our Littleton store.
So a couple years ago, I taught at a guild in Las Vegas, and I said, what do you want me to teach? And they said, well, we've got a lot of people who have never made a ByAnnie bag, and then we have a group who've made a lot of your bags. What do you recommend? And they wanted basically 1 2-day class. And I said, let's do a ByAnnie boot camp. So we concentrated on our 4 ByAnnie basics patterns. And I'll show you those to you in a minute. But basically, we spent a half a day on each of the 4 projects. Everybody went home with a finished bag. And even the people who were longtime ByAnnie bag makers said, I learned so much about so many different things that it was worth doing it, even though I knew a lot of the skills already. So the 4 projects that we do for that, the first one that we start with is a little basket called petit four baskets. If you've ever had petit four cakes, it's kind of similar to this. We start with 10-inch squares, so we start with layer cakes. 2 10-inch squares of fabric, and I believe it's a 10 by 11-inch piece of soft and stable. Makes a cute little basket that you can use in so many ways. The main purpose of this project is to teach you to work with soft and stable on a project that is not quilted. So you learn that if you want soft and stable to fold crisply on an edge, you stitch a line of stitching through it, and that makes it fold nicely there. You learn that if you want to compress it where you've got your seams, you do extra lines of stitching, and that helps mash it down. So just a super simple little project to make. These are great for wonder clips. I put all my little miscellaneous tools that I'm using while I'm sewing. I throw them in here, and then at the end of the day, put them all away where they belong. But it's just kind of a good little catch-all to have on your table. They're great for fat quarters stack nicely in them, gifts, candy. If you have something in here, you can even take one and put it over the top to make like a lid.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Lots of ways you can use them. So that's the first project, Petty for Baskets. The second one that we do is called Peacekeeper. And that makes a little project bag, and you learn all kinds of skills in this one. So on this one, since we didn't do quilting on that one, we do quilting on this one. So you're quilting a small piece of fabric, but you learn about how Soft and Stable hugs your fabric and holds it in place. You don't need to use iron-on fusibles that can give you that dreaded cellulite look on your project when you're done. I always say it looks like my thighs when I use that. So it's a sew-in stabilizer, but easy to quilt. You learn to make a little interfaced handle. You learn to install a zipper in a mesh pocket, add a border, make your own bias binding, and bind a flat project with rounded corners. So you learn about rounding corners. Lots of techniques that you learn on that simple project. And this is ideal for carrying pieces for your project. I make these for kids and put coloring books and colors so they can take them in the car or in the restaurant. So many ways you can use that little handy bag. The next one that we do is called Call Me. And this is, again, just a very small project. None of these use more than fat quarters, and most can be done in just a few hours. This one, you learn to work with vinyl. You learn to work with mesh and fold over elastic. You learn to use your binding not only to bind the raw edges, but to make a handle or a strap. And you learn to install a zipper in a quilted fabric pocket. So lots of important techniques, but in a little project. And then the last project that we do is called Peacekeeper. I think it's over here on the floor. So this is a dimensional bag, great for toiletries. I like to put all my chargers and cords in this when I travel. Lots of ways you can use this. And the two main things that we wanted people to learn on this project is assembling a dimensional project and how to flat bind the seam that goes between the zipper and the side strip so that you don't have a big bulky thing like this. You've got a nice flat seam. You also learn how to put handles on each side that are straight from one side, how to position this so your zipper's right in the middle. So lots of really important skills that you'll want for any of the larger bags, but you're making this in a small project. So by the time you've all the basic skills that you need to make any ByAnnie project, and the ByAnnie world is your oyster. You can go have fun making whatever you want.
Okay, so we will have more information on this. We were just discussing this with Annie about an hour ago. So we will look at the calendar and see when we're going to get this scheduled and get more information to you on that. But we're all super excited about bringing that to you as a boot camp. And do you have anything else, or?
How about if I just show this one project yet? Because this is one that people really love. And,
there was a question. What bag, the one that you've got all of your zippers in, what is the pattern
This
for
is
that?
a pattern called Pocket Packers, and it comes in 4 versions. So, let's see. I did not bring one of them. I left it in my suitcase. So there's one that has 1 pocket down the front. This one has 2 pockets. This one has 3 pockets. I've divided that one to make an extra pocket there. And this one has 4 pockets. And then every one of them has a full height mesh pocket on the back. So these are fabulous for organizing your parts for a project. I use it for my step outs. They fit perfectly, one stacked in a small carry-on suitcase, 2 of them next to each other in a larger suitcase. They're just really great for organizing all your parts and pieces for a project or whatever you want to carry, and really super simple to make. So fun to do.
Okay, Linda, we will have to figure out the logistics on that and see. We're kind of just in the very beginning stages of figuring out how we're going to present that, but I'm sure we can try and do something via Zoom.
Right. So one last bag to show you. This is one of our most popular bags. It's called A Place for Everything. If you like to go to classes or do a lot of handwork, this is a great bag for carrying all your supplies. So there is a zippered pocket on front, a slip pocket divided into 2 sections on back. I think we've got the carrying strap inside this pocket, it feels like. Yes. So it's got short handles for carrying by hand, or a carrying strap that can be attached to either side for carrying it over your shoulder. When you open it up, you've got, let's take these pages out so you can see what the bag itself looks like. You've got a mesh slip pocket on one side and a zippered pocket on the other. So lots of stuff you can carry in there. Some people make just the bag and skip the pages, but it's a great little overnight bag for kids to go to grandma's house. And then the pages can be totally customized to fit what you need. So here I did 3 pocket pages on each side of the page. So you could do 3 pocket here, 2 pocket here. These are both 2 pockets. This one I divided to make an extra section in it. And then on the back, you've got your choice of a full zippered pocket or a slip pocket. I, in this particular bag, did mesh on one side, vinyl on the other side, but you can mix and match however you want. This could be mesh, these could both be vinyl. You could do everything vinyl, everything mesh. It's totally up to you. I always say the hardest part about this bag is deciding how you want to make and which pockets you want to do. One word of advice I have, when I was doing a lot of quilting, I laid out everything that I wanted to carry. I found that if I did one of each style, it was the perfect configuration, and I was able to get everything I needed in there. The nice thing is that the pages are freestanding, so if you want, you can even make extra pages and leave some at home. Just take the ones that it's like, what's going on there? That's flipped over. People often ask, what's this extra piece of Velcro for here? That's so that if you've got your pages out, you can fold that over and you're not catching the scratchy zipper on yourself. But otherwise, you just bring that over. The original pattern of this had Velcro on all the pages, and it was harder to take things out, and we didn't really need it, so this holds them in really well. And then off you go. Everything you want in one bag.
Okay, so this next question, what is the best weight of vinyl? Well, of course, it's going to be your premium vinyl, right?
Which is 16 gauge. A lot of what you'll find at other stores is 12 gauge, which is not nearly as strong and sturdy. And the 16 gauge is so easy to sew, and it really lasts a long time. I have bags I made 25 years ago that when they get dirty, I throw them in the washer and dryer. The vinyl is perfectly fine in there, and they've just lasted beautifully.
And do you remember off the top of your head how that comes packaged?
It's 16 inches high and 54 inches wide.
Okay.
So if you did...
And it's $9.99, I believe, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
So if you want to do both vinyl and mesh, 1 package of vinyl and 1 package of mesh makes everything for the pages.
Okay.
So if you wanted to do all vinyl, you'd want 2 packages of mesh, or all mesh, 2 packages of...
And is the zipper, is it $24.99? I'm going off the top of my memory there. $24.99. Somebody had asked about the price on the zippers.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera back around, and we would like to thank you all for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed it. Annie was very gracious to stay and do our live for us today. You are very welcome, Mickey. So thanks for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call here at one of the stores. And we will see you all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.